Greetings and salutations. I promised you guys that I had more interest than just Disney movies, and today I'm finally proving that correct. I am having a big old sad brain day. I'm having a big old bad brain day. I'm in my depression era. I'm big old sad, and you know what makes me feel better when I'm big old sad? My comfort person. My comfort person is Miss Taylor Swift. And in order to excuse being productive and filming while also wanting to consume content on my favorite person, I thought maybe we could watch Miss Americana together today. I actually haven't seen Miss Americana in a long time. I don't watch it that frequently because it makes me deeply emotional. There are some scenes that I'll talk about when we get there that really do affect me quite a lot, and so I watched this with like pretty much everyone when it first came out. I had a little watch party with my friend Tyler, and then I watched it again with my mum, and then I think I watched it later in the year in 2020, and I'm not sure that I've actually seen it since, just because it is emotional in such a way. So I thought we could watch it together, and if I cry, you can cry with me, and we can be in our little swiftie eras all together. And you know what? It feels nice and full circle that I would do a commentary on a Taylor Swift documentary, seeing as this YouTube channel, for those who don't know, began being titled Let's Talk Swift, in which I exclusively made videos talking about Taylor Swift because my friends at school were just so fucking tired of me talking about her. So I just made a YouTube video to talk about and make videos whenever she kind of did anything that warranted discussion, so I could have an excuse to talk about it. So it feels right that I would be doing this. I'll probably do one for Johnny and the Fearless too. I don't think I can do any of the tour movies because of song copyright, but we'll see. Let's watch Miss Americana. I'm already gonna cry. Look at baby Benji. He's going for a little, oh, he's so cute. I actually can't deal with how cute he is. Look at his eyes.
And it says, my life, my career, my dream, my reality.
Bitch session, so true. I want a journal like that.
You know, my entire moral code as a kid and now is a need to be thought of as good.
I relate to that. My therapist thinks it's astounding that my genuine deepest fear is being a bad person.
Like a good girl.
I relate a lot to that, I really do. Oh, I miss the Speak Now tour. Oh, Red Tour, my baby! 1999 tour. Still gonna fight whoever edited that. It's on site! Why would you do that?
In the middle of the night, in my dreams, you should see the things we do.
God, her voice.
Baby. Ooh.
I want to somehow make that outfit, but I don't know how. I need to like get a costume maker who works with sequins and stuff to figure out how, but I'm scared to reach out to people. Oh my gosh, look at her. I literally miss the Rep Tour so much. It was the happiest day of my life. Rep Melbourne was literally the happiest day of my life, and Rep Tour Brisbane was like a close second. I remember that feeling of being in the crowd. Oh, Meredith.
You are not nominated.
Oh, okay. It's, this is good. This is fine.
No, it's not. I hate that this is her first response. It makes me, it just breaks my heart.
I just need to make a better record.
That breaks my heart so much because Reputation was a fantastic album. Reputation is one of my favorite Taylor albums. It was so brilliant, and it did pretty well critically from what I remember, but she's so focused on that approval that like her first response to I made this album that I was so proud of that did really well, and the tour did amazing, and we sold out shows everywhere, and I've had fans telling me in meet and greets how much they love this record, and her response to all of that, and just having like, I know that the Grammys are like the be all end all of music awards, but just because they didn't nominate it for her to go, well, I must have not made a good enough album then. Like, it breaks my heart because I completely understand that thought process. I'm not saying that she's wrong for not focusing on everything else, but like her inability to see her own talent and how good of a record she made and how much it affected people. My favorite Taylor song of all time is on Reputation, you know, like Call It What You Want is completely redefined my idea of love and what kind of a love that I want in life, and made me strive for a happier kind of love. That's a huge impact that she had on me just by writing a happy little love song. You know, the Reputation tour the Reputation era like completely changed my life. Like, I became so close with so many new friends who I'm still friends with now. The interactions that I had on tour are some of my happiest memories. And like there's so much more that she doesn't really give herself credit for, and how her music is amazing and how much it impacts people just because, you know, one award show didn't fucking give it the, you know, recognition that it deserved. It just breaks my heart. She's not able to recognize and be proud of herself for those things and those things alone. And she probably is at other points, but just watching this scene really breaks my heart. I know that I have a mad parasocial relationship, but like seeing her sad just breaks my heart. She's my favorite person, and seeing her sad just really breaks my heart. It's hard to see people you love be sad and be hurting. It will never not be so fascinating to see her work and see her write.
And then you say that you'll never find another like me.
Me is not a song that I would have picked to have been written on piano, I'll be real.
You like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, babe. I like me. I am a me defender, to be honest. I'm tired of pretending that I'm not. I like me.
Baby doll, when it comes to a lover, I tell you that you'll never find another like me.
She's so happy, guys. She's so happy about it. It doesn't have to be your favorite song, but you did it dirty, and I won't forgive. It's a cute little, like, feel-good anthem, and kids love it, and that's really cool.
If I don't beat everything I've done prior, it'll be deemed as like a colossal failure.
I hate that she has that pressure on herself. Oh, she's so pretty. I can't do. I love her curtains. She has really good, like, interior design. Every time we see anything of a house, I'm like, you decorate it so well. I have no ability to do that. I'm so jealous of that part of her brain.
There is an element to my fan base where we feel like we grew up together. I'll be going through something, write the album about it, and then it'll come out, and sometimes it'll just coincide with what they're going through.
That's a really cool thing about having been, I'm gonna get so emotional, having been a swiftie my whole life is I became obsessed with Taylor and became like a fan when I was 6. That was the age when I was when Love Story came out, and then I was so obsessed with it that my mum bought me Debut, and I couldn't sleep unless I was listening to that. And then when Fearless finally did come out, I got Fearless, and then I got Fearless Platinum Edition, and that had the behind the scenes of the music videos that I could put on my TV. She's just always been this constant in my life. And when I was younger, I used to be a part of the fan base, and even when I was like 10, 11, I'd be on, you know, the fan sites. Everyone, like Taylor Connect, everyone ever would talk about how relatable her songwriting was, and I was too young to have that really apply. But something that kind of happened as I got a bit older is when I got to like 13, 14, suddenly every song on Debut was incredibly relatable, and there were certain songs that I could always relate to in whatever aspect of my life I could fit them into. I could relate them to, you know, Mean was always relatable because I got bullied, or I could always, you know, apply certain like heartbreak songs to friendship stuff or family stuff. But as I got older, more and more music started becoming really relatable, and I'm at the point now where like I'm an adult-ish, I'm 21, enough to have like been through heartbreak and to have like existential dread and all of these fun things. And now every time an album comes out, it's like venting to a friend almost. It's so personal because there will be songs on every album now where they perfectly coincide with what I've been going through. Red TV came out, and it was the year that I had like the worst heartbreak of my life, where I like lost like the person I was in love with and my best friend at the time in this massive like situation that I was really, really upset about. And that still honestly makes me really, really, it still affects me a lot. And I felt so alone in like all of those feelings, and what got me through at the time largely was Folklore. And then when Red TV came out, like I was like, oh my god, it feels like I've seen like I feel seeing like All Too Well 10-minute version was like exactly how I had felt. And there was so many lyrics that felt so personal that it was almost weird that she had written them. Like now I'm at a point in life where like, yeah, every album there are songs that are just perfectly coinciding with what I've been through in the recent years or what I'm going through at the moment. And it's so nice to have that kind of barrier, and to have grown into that is a really cool thing, because now I get it. I get why everyone always used to talk about how relatable her music is, because it is. It feels like she is reading my diary, like The Archer, Would've, Could've, Should've, You're on Your Own Kid, Anti-Hero, The Great War. Like these are songs that it's like, oh my god, as if you didn't read my journals and write these songs about those experiences. Like, it's really cool. If I ever get married, I want Lover to be my first dance. My partner can either agree to that, or I can drop the hand while dancing, leave them out there standing. Little girl in this little town with a little...
By this girl named Taylor Swift.
The fake country accent, I love it.
Please.
I love to see it.
This is happening.
Oh my god, that used to be one of my comfort videos.
You have changed my life.
This was definitely the highlight of our senior year. I was riding shotgun with my hair undone in the front seat of his car.
When you're living for the approval of strangers, one bad thing can cause everything to crumble.
What an iconic entrance though. I know a lot of terrible things happened this night, but her literally showing up as a princess, like, she is everything. You can tell that this woman raised me.
Thank you so much.
I remember this happening. Pink was so right for everything about this scenario. And the thing is, Beyonce won the biggest award of the night.
You know, I don't know him and I don't want to start anything because I had a great night tonight.
She was a kid. She was a fucking kid. She was a teenager.
President Obama calling Kanye West a jackass.
I can name you 10.
Obama was so real for that.
He did it with a 17-year-old girl because he could.
I still agree with that. I do think, like, her being so young and like a very, very young girl, not even a woman really yet, like that did play into why.
I thought that they were bullying me.
She was 23 when I saw her live for the first time.
Something about
She was also 24 here. She absolutely was 24 here.
I'm only here because I work hard and I'm nice to people.
Honey.
That work ethic, like, thank God I had that work ethic. Like,
Yes, babe! Jack in that performance, going off. Again, she was 26 at this Grammys.
Taylor Swift has done something only the
Beatles have done.
Taylor Swift is
The music industry. And she is. I liked that haircut. You were so mean about that haircut. I liked it. I copied it because I was in my stage of copying her haircuts.
You get to the mountaintop and you look around and you're like, oh God, what now? I didn't have a partner that I climbed it with that I could like high five.
That's still
I
kind
didn't
of
have
funny.
any.
Yeah, there's a part of me that feels like I'm 57 years old, but then there's a part of me that's like, definitely not ready to have kids, definitely not ready for all this grown-up stuff.
Yeah.
So,
And 29 is so young. Like, you do not need to be ready for all that grown-up stuff yet.
like, literally in 2 months, they'll come to me with the dates for the next tour.
Right.
Oh, they won't because the global pandemic happens.
We'll be at Foxborough
Cheers.
This-
Is this when they scare the shit out of her? There we go. She's so cute. Her living in like oversized sweatshirts is very, very relatable.
Oh no!
Why would you try?
No, you're on your forehead.
I love her. She's a genius. Why would all of them try and like eat right before take off? That's gonna be a problem that you face.
I decided to do something I'd always wanted to do, which was
Got a huge dog.
get a really big dog. That's good, Mom. Yeah, well, that's what it is. Happy that worked out for you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's really what it is.
Do you really care if the internet doesn't like you today? If your mom's sick from her chemo?
I'm well aware that this is not the same thing at all, like even a little bit, but a real kind of turning point for me in my life and realizing that I didn't want to live, that's the wrong phrasing, I didn't want to avoid doing things that I wanted to do or that made me happy because of what other people were going to think about it. For me was when my mum had a stroke. It was just after I turned 18, so it was right as I was finishing high school. My mum had a pretty massive stroke. She was fine, thankfully. She got incredibly lucky. They didn't think that she should be fine after the stroke that she had, but she was. But my mum has always been my rock, and you know, I've talked a little bit about how like the household I grew up in wasn't always the healthiest. But my mum was kind of the one person in that household that I could trust and I could talk to. And I didn't have a lot of friends a lot of the time growing up, or my friends didn't like me that much. They weren't that nice to me. So I spent a lot of time with my mum and doing things with her, and I still do now that I've like moved out. I still do a lot with her. And so it was this really scary thing for obviously our whole family, but for me personally, and it just kind of put into perspective how unimportant other people thinking that I was weird was. Like, I cosplayed for the first time right after my mom had a stroke, and I started like actively pursuing the things that I wanted to pursue again, and I just became more unapologetic about the things that I loved and about like being open about them and posting about them, and even just with like my sexuality and stuff I kind of did too, but just because it put into perspective of like almost losing someone so close to me, put into perspective how much people thinking that I was weird or my hobbies were weird or I was too much or whatever, like that just didn't fucking matter, because just living for other people didn't matter so much when I almost lost someone that was actually important to me and whose opinion of me I actually cared about.
Put in it right now.
Would you like a glass
I love
of
this
red wine
outfit
or
and
white
makeup
wine?
and hair on
Can I
Taylor.
have some white wine? Oh, you got the
Look
red
at her
wine?
place. This is her
That makes me-
Nashville place, I think.
Just so you know, this is what it is. You feed them, change them, they sleep.
Yeah.
You feed them,
Do it all over.
you change them, they
Yeah.
sleep, you feed them. Like,
It's just.
she's, and I was like, so it's like a Tamagotchi.
Oh my god.
Look at that apartment, like she's incredible.
Okay.
She shouldn't have to fucking do this just to not be photographed by people. Oh, I remember this day. This is gonna make me cry. I'm sorry. Please don't wait outside our home like that.
Or like someone said that I looked pregnant or something, and that'll just trigger me to just starve a little bit, just stop eating. I'm a lot happier with who I am, and I'm happier with like, I don't care as much if like somebody points out that I have gained weight. It's just something that makes my life better. I would have defended it to anyone who said, I'm concerned about you. I was like, what are you talking about? Of course I eat, it's perfectly normal, I just exercise a lot. And I did exercise a lot, but I wasn't eating. Because if you're thin enough, then you don't have that ass that everybody wants. But if you have enough weight on you to have an ass, then your stomach isn't flat enough. It's all just fucking impossible. Because it's better to think you look fat than to look sick. And we don't do that anymore. And we're changing the channel in our brain, and we're not doing that anymore.
I forgot certain parts of that, those quotes, and they sent me again. Fun little oversharing story. I've struggled with eating disorders on and off really since I was about 13. Trigger warning for eating disorder discussions, by the way. That was when I first started kind of starving myself, and I, without treatment, kind of got over that. I just kind of somehow, I'm not sure how, but I worked my way out of that headspace, and I started just eating again and eating a lot. And it got to a point where I then realized I'd gained more weight than I would have liked to, and it started again. And that was when I was about 16, 17, I want to say. That time it was worse. When it kind of came back, it was worse, and I haven't been able to kick it. For a long time, I was in massive denial that I had a problem. I was in massive denial that that my eating was disordered. I would tell my therapist every session that my eating was fine, and it was never anything. And she'd occasionally bring up that I was losing weight, and I would just say, I'm exercising a lot. And my family would point out things, and I would say, I'm exercising a lot. And I was, but I also wasn't eating. I really denied that I had a problem or that it wasn't healthy until this film. I was watching it with my mum. It was the second time I was watching it, and this scene came on, and she said I would have denied it to anyone because I would just say that I was exercising a lot, and I was, but I also wasn't eating. And my mum just turned and stared at me, because that was my exact excuse every time she brought it up. And after that, I went and saw a doctor about it for the first time. Sailor just kind of mentioning it, it made me go see a doctor about it for the first time and admit that I had you know, problems and admit that I had disordered eating, its level of intensity with me kind of fluctuates, and it's gotten to points where, you know, my psychologist and my doctor have wanted me to get more specific and intensive treatment for it, and I've refused because I'm just not in a place where I'm ready for that. But I do acknowledge it, and I talk about it with my psychologist now. I go see my doctor regularly to make sure that it's not, you know, giving me any irreversible kind of physical problems. And that is the treatment that I am able to do right now. But I don't think I would have ever gotten to that point had Taylor not kind of opened up about hers. Yeah, this scene just means a lot to me. I forgot about that. It's better to look fat than to look sick quote. But that's insanely true.
Date life.
Meet the parents.
She's going through guys like
she didn't even date much. She literally didn't even date that much.
Like lots of men.
I'm not gonna walk on with any men tonight.
Kim Kardashian released video of Kanye West secretly recording his conversation.
Edited though, as we now have the full videos out, heavily edited videos.
I don't buy the story that she was so insulted by that one line. I think she saw an opportunity to be.
She was trying to talk him out of it initially, and then there were parts that he did not play her. Oh, I remember these headlines.
Hashtag Taylor Swift is over party was the #1 trend on Twitter worldwide.
And I've been doing this for 15 years, and I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of just most days I'm like, okay. But then sometimes I'm just like, it just gets loud sometimes.
When people fall out of love with you, there's nothing you can do to make them change their mind. They just don't love you anymore.
I just want to go on a little tangent about this for a second. I think there's obviously with Folklore and Evermore and Midnights being so hugely successful, which we love to see, there's a lot of people who are becoming fans and becoming Swifties, and that is a wonderful thing, genuinely. But there's also a lot of people who are very like gatekeepy right now, and I just want to say that I don't agree with gatekeeping her as an artist in general. She's one of the biggest artists of the world. There's a lot of like young people who are becoming fans right now, and there's also just a lot of people who have never really cared about her before becoming fans right now, and that is a wonderful thing. But I also want to say I understand wanting to gatekeep her from the people who were mean to her in 2016. It's a protective thing, because when you were a fan at that point, it was hell, and it obviously impacted her really deeply. And having been a fan since 2008 and having been a fan during like 2012, 2013 and then 2016, it's interesting to see how much the public opinion of her fluctuates and how much people will be fans and then not be fans just because of the popular public opinion. And so some people have people that they know personally were saying mean things about her in 2016 and they don't really want them to be fans, and I think that's honestly valid. I was in high school in 2016 when this all happened, and I had people coming up to me and being like, so how do you feel knowing that like Taylor Swift absolutely lied? Your idol, she's such a bitch, she's a whore, everyone knows it now. Like, those were real things that people said to my face. I don't think there's anything wrong with people, you know, who like just becoming fans. Like, don't gatekeep from them, that's stupid. But I also I understand where a lot of Swifties are coming from with wanting to be protective of the people who were mean to her in 2016. In saying that, I also think majority of the time, like, we need to work that out in our own heads and get past that and just welcome all the new fans. But like, I do, like, because I think most people have grown and matured is the reality of it, and worked on like some internalized misogyny. Like, most people have done that work and that's why they're fans now. But I do just want to say I understand where people are coming from with that. Maybe I got mine, but you'll all get yours. Why did we never get that making of a song? Huh? Why did we never get that making of a song, Miss Swift? Dr. Swift, sorry. Use your correct title.
Is this the end of all the endings? My broken bones are mending with all these nights.
Shout out to the King of My Heart Bridge.
I figured I had to reset everything.
My favorite video in the world.
It took the crown, but it's alright.
Taylor Swift playing your favorite song ever on guitar. Unparalleled.
Doing better than I ever was.
I also was falling in love with someone who had a really wonderfully normal, balanced, grounded life.
Windows boarded up after the storm.
Shout out to Taylor, the owner of the bitch who has that Olivia and Meredith onesie. One thing right. One thing right. That's me talking about loving her my whole life. Just the most beautiful song. Sorry ass fucking. Gosh, she's so beautiful. It's just such a beautiful love song about like not needing someone to save you, but someone who will come along and like hold your hand and keep you warm and be like, I'm gonna be here while you save yourself. I'm not, but I'm gonna be here while you do what you need to do, and I'm gonna like, we can be untouchable from the rest of the bullshit. Like, I just love it. Magnetic field being a little too strong. She looked at me for the first time on Red Velvet during Gorgeous. My reputation's never been worse, so but you can make me a drink. 1, 2, 3, let's go, bitch. Bonnie and Clyde. Oh, this is the best making of a song video.
I'm in the getaway car.
Left you at the motel bar. Took the money in the bag that I stole the keys. In the bag and I stole the keys. That was the last time you ever saw me. Ah! Oh, to be in love. Oh, to have a healthy love. That's so cute. She looks so beautiful.
I'd like you to be a witness for something special, Miss Taylor Swift.
Oh my God.
Miss Mabel Marciano to be my wife.
Did you know that was gonna happen? I didn't know that was gonna happen at all. Yes. I was like, you just like, high five.
Thank you.
You guys engaged now? This is
official.
My God.
That scene is so interesting to me. The inclusion of that is so interesting to me. I know a lot of people online talk about how like awkward and uncomfortable it is to watch, and I kind of agree. I generally am of the belief that like proposing in front of like celebrities is a little awkward because like, what are they gonna do? Why are you just having them be there? I had someone on a TikTok live that I was doing the other day talk about how the way to get me to accept a proposal from them would be to get me a meet and greet with Taylor Swift, and I was like, but do not propose to me during the meet and greet. I will kill you, and I will reject the proposal. Something that I think that scene actually illustrates is, even though Taylor, you know, is so kind and so generous and does these meet and greets after every show, like always has the amount of, after already performing like a 2-hour incredible show, the amount of emotional energy that it takes to kind of do that, having someone literally include you in their proposal, like such a huge moment in their lives, like that's a lot to just like put on someone and just be like, jump into this, be a part of this, even like, and I know that I'm a hypocrite because if I ever got the chance to meet her, I would also be emotional and there would be things that I would want to say to her and all of that, but also like the amount of emotional energy that meeting everyone and comforting people and kind of hearing their personal stories and how they relate to your music, and also just the jumping into huge impactful moments in their lives, like that takes up a huge amount of emotional energy from her, like, and she doesn't have to do that, she's just the kindest soul and is going to do that anyway. But I just think that scene is a really good example of that, if that makes sense. I don't know if anything that I just said made any sense at all.
Like, I just want like little kids to be like, there's no one like me, like.
Yeah.
And then fans found it and I had to leave.
Oh, would they just wait outside?
They would jump the gate and like try to open our front door, and I was like,
Yeah,
this isn't...
I had a crazy dude break into my apartment and sleep in my bed a couple months ago. Didn't like it.
Well, I would move immediately if that happened. That would be grounds for me to move.
There's a lot of guys out there.
Yes.
She's so cute. She's so cute.
Oh my God. I'm also really.
Her wearing a sweater, skirt, and tights. That is my fit. That's my Ashlee trademarked fit. She's so me in that outfit. I want one of these backpacks for Percy so bad, but I know that he would not like it and it would be a waste of money because he hates people. But I want one so bad. Look at Olivia. He might like it more than like a carrier though.
Part of the fabric of being a country artist is don't force your politics on people.
Well, that racy magazine cover on the stands today pretty much sums up some of the names the Dixie Chicks are being called in America these days.
They're so ignorant.
They don't know what they're talking about.
I think they are the ditzy twits. These are the dumbest bimbos, with due respect, I have seen.
These are callow,
Bimbos
foolish
with
women who
due
deserve to be
respect.
slapped around.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Did you just say they deserve to be slapped around? The way in which
Label executives
misogyny
and
just becomes
publishers,
so okay
like the
when you
Dixie
don't like a
Chicks.
woman.
I was so obsessed with not getting in trouble. I was like, I'm just not gonna do anything that anyone could say anything about.
That would be okay.
It's just so fascinating to watch her work. She's genuinely so talented, and like the process that she gets to create her music, I just think is so fascinating because she is so hands-on in everything and has such a clear vision.
You are kind of doing a constant strategy in your head as to how not to be shamed for something on any given day.
Yep.
But then you get accused of being calculated
Yep.
for having strategy.
Yep.
We drink to the pen and the bottles, to the bitches and models, to the...
This had happened to me. We told his boss. They did an investigation. He got fired. Then he sued me for millions of dollars. So I countersued for $1. The first thing they say to you in court is, why didn't you scream? Why didn't you react quicker?
I was angry that I had to be there. I was angry that this happens to women. I was angry that people are paid to antagonize victims. I was angry that all the details had been twisted. You don't feel a sense of any victory when you win, because the process is so dehumanizing.
The day that the jury sided in my favor and said that they believed me, I just wanted to say I'm sorry to anyone who ever wasn't believed, because I don't know what turn my life would have taken if people didn't believe me when I said that something had happened to me.
The drought was the very worst.
Shout out to my friend Sarah, who gave me the biggest hug when Clean played at the last Taylor night I went to, because I just started sobbing and she just pulled me into her arms. The amount of times Clean is played somewhere and people have just hugged me is very wonderful, actually.
And I just thought to myself, next time there is any opportunity to change anything, you had better know what you stand for and what you want to say.
All I've talked about for the last couple of months is the election in Tennessee. It's not that I want to step into this, I can't not at this point. Like,
I mean, does Bob Hope do
Well,
it? Did
why-
Bing Crosby do it? Does Mick Jagger do
Her
it?
face here.
No, but
Andrea being like, honey, what the hell? Yes! Yes, Andrea!
These aren't your dad's celebrities, and these aren't your dad's Republicans.
The other thing, just from a security
So you
standpoint,
think
Taylor Swift comes out against Trump.
I don't care if they write that.
Yeah.
I'm sad that I didn't 2 years ago.
Yep.
I can't change that. I just want to read you what I wrote, and I'm going to try to start. I just really want you to know that this is important to me. And this is something that
Her breaking down in tears, just trying to speak over multiple men in the room, talking over her, like literally just like talking down to her, telling her like what a poor idea it is and they're wrong, but talking over her, and the only other person in the room being like her mum setting up for her and like another woman setting up for her, but they're outnumbered by these men who are just not listening and are just speaking over them. Like that is, and her getting emotional about it, that is such a relatable experience, and an experience that I think most women have probably had. I know for a fact I've had that in multiple things, and then you just get angrier at yourself for being emotional, and that makes you more emotional, but you know that the men in the room are going to use that to discredit you, or you know, they're going to say that you're not in the right frame of mind, or it just makes you look weak in their eyes, and you get more frustrated at that, even when you know that you are in the right and you know that what you're saying is intelligent and correct and like well thought out. It's such a universal experience, and it's so heartbreaking to see it in such a clear way to one of the most like influential and powerful women in the world. It's so upsetting to see that even she, just to say that who she's voting for in a midterm election, that she has to deal with this scenario. It's like really disheartening to see with someone who is so influential and who is in such a place of privilege and power. Like you would think that maybe women can reach a point of success where they stop having this experience, but it's like, no, they don't. Cool. And what she said was fucking beautiful too.
I need to do this. I need you to just, Dad, I need you to forgive me for doing it, because I'm doing it.
I always have to
Yay,
bring
Tree.
up everything that could go sideways. Or everything
I love
that we
Tree.
need
What
to
an
accept.
icon.
Number one, the president can come after you.
Yeah, fuck that. I don't care.
Yeah.
If I get bad press for saying don't put a homophobic racist in office,
Then I get bad press for that.
I really don't care.
Lives in my mind rent free.
The 28-year-old pop star made her
I
statement.
love that sweater. I love that sweater so much. Gonna go stalk Taylor Swift style and see what it was, and if I can then find it for much cheaper online, secondhand somewhere.
Vote.org reporting more registrations in the last day since Taylor's post than in all of August.
Yep. You cannot deny, even no matter where you stand politically, you cannot deny the good that her posting that did, because she got so many new voters to register. So fucking many.
Donald Trump likes my music 25% less.
Perez Hilton just posted, note how Republicans are attacking Taylor Swift's intelligence instead of her ideas. They don't respect women enough to debate them.
Yep. I do not like Perez Hilton, but
not true.
hell yeah.
A melted down disco ball.
This is one of my favorite red carpet outfits of hers, genuinely. I think it's incredible. Love the hair, love the makeup, love the fit. I love it.
Can you breathe?
I can breathe. I can.
Yeah.
Is it easy?
No.
No.
People do not appreciate the fact that she is really, really freaking funny and witty, and I feel like people don't appreciate that about her enough. I don't know how people walk red carpets and don't lose their mind. That is so scary to me.
I keep looking down because I'm afraid. And it shows. It's a lot to process.
Me sometimes doing entrances in my Elsa heels.
The female artists that I know of have reinvented themselves 20 times more than the male artists.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, but that's very true of the music industry. The way that the entertainment industry as a whole treats women is so terrible. It's so terrible. The expectations placed on women are insane, because otherwise they do just get thrown out and discarded.
Last opportunities as an artist to grasp onto that kind of success.
It's so insane to hear her say that. Like, now, being in the future, knowing that, like, her most successful albums are the albums she released after this. You know, Folklore won Album of the Year at the Grammys again. Folklore was her most successful album, I think, at the time. And now Midnights is, like, she's reaching these new heights that she never had. Even just looking at, like, Red TV and the records that broke, she's reaching these new heights. And it's so insane to kind of hear her only a couple years ago talking about how she thinks, you know, she's got one of her last opportunities to have that kind of success, and like knowing where it goes.
She won by being a female, applying to the kind of female males want us to be in a horrendous 1950s
Absolutely.
world.
You're absolutely correct. Are those the matching pants for the sweatshirt she wore in her Spotify thank you video? Or am I insane?
What, 3 to 4 million people turning 18 in the next 2 years before the next one? So it's like, it's basically saying, like, don't lose hope, don't get...
Yeah,
it's really hard not to lose hope when it comes to politics, but it's so important not to. But it's very difficult not to. It's very difficult not to, especially lately. Oh, this song makes me emotional.
I feel really good about not feeling muzzled anymore. And it was my own doing. I want to love glitter and also stand up for the double standards that exist in our society.
I have never felt something so much.
I want to wear pink and tell you how I feel about politics.
I want to wear pink and tell you how I feel about politics.
And I don't think that those things have to cancel each other
Gonna
out.
get it tattooed on my body. I think about that every single day, literally. Again, another favorite, like, red carpet look of hers for me.
We don't want to be condemned for being multifaceted.
How fucking...
Sorry, that was a real soapbox.
No, oh
Why
my
did
God,
I say sorry?
Oh, the Archer. Oh my God, not the Archer.
No one is this good and works harder.
Yep.
And if you're that good, usually you don't work that hard.
I love you guys.
This looks so fun. The cake looks so good. Hang on, when do they bring out the cake?
Knowing that
Yes, look how good that cake looks. I want to eat that cake. That's one of my favorite outfits she's worn ever. I want it more than anything. I'm obsessed with it. Honestly, and like the dip dye in the hair, what a time. I miss the Lover era. The Lover era deserved better. It deserved a full life. I love her so much. I know that this is a thing that everyone knows about me. I don't know, man. I really do. She is just my favorite person. She is my number one comfort person. She has been the one constant in my life. And yeah, on my worst days, on the days where I'm really big sad and I feel really lonely and I don't entirely know what I'm doing, why I want to be here, all of that, I do a thing where I put on all my favorite Taylor interviews, or I watch her performances, or I just kind of consume a lot of content of her, and it makes me feel a lot less alone. It always does, and that is what watching that just now did for me. So thank you very, very much for watching along with me. If you want to talk about Taylor in the comments, I love any excuse that I can get to talk about her as much as possible all the time. So please, if you want to talk about your favorite songs or stuff about this film, or just have any kind of conversation about her, I would love that deeply. Let's bring back Let's Talk Swift. Let's bring back my old branding, and let's kind of bring back those discussions, please, and thank you. If you would like to subscribe, that would be great. You can ding the bell and get notifications when I upload videos. I make videos about a lot of things, generally nerdy things, just about stuff that I love. I do movie commentaries now, but I do a lot of videos of just me talking shit too. I do a lot of like book-centric stuff and like Marvel-centric stuff and Disney-centric stuff and Taylor Swift-centric stuff. So if you're interested in any of that, please subscribe. If you want to follow me on any social media, it'll all be linked below. You can support me on Patreon if you want. That helps make this possible. There's bonus content, extra videos every month and stuff over there. And I would like to thank Christian, Matt, and Draco for being one with the force over on Patreon. Thank you guys very much, and thank you, all of you, for watching. I love Taylor Swift, and I love you, and I will see you very soon. Mwah.